Hello, this is Motor Limited, and Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Alright, let's roll. The last time we had got some pushback, but we are still marching forward. We've just retaken, or we're about to, hopefully. Our allies are making good progress. So we're in a bit of a standstill, but all around we are doing alright. At this rate, I'm gonna just hack. Hey, Adam Ching. If you move, I can. Yeah. Come on, take Williamsport, baby. Yes! Yes! And start plans for an. If you already saved it in the we have gained a breakthrough. Cavalry to encircle 4 units. Get that. Get that. Get that. And get some civilian helicopters to boot. Get Johnstown. While we're at it. And when we're improving, send different delegation to there and organize the Kingston Conference. Oh, Rousseau speaks at the United Nations. I give now the floor to the leader of the Patriotic Front, Thomas Rousseau, says the current president of the UN, Dennis Francis. I'm not sure if that's the current president. Need to be checked. I think I can check it right now. UN president. Currently led by one Annalena Charlotte Alma Baerbock, which was preceded by one which came after one Philmon Yunji Nyang, which came after Dennis Francis. He would have had the office between 2020. Okay, so this is technically incorrect. It wouldn't be Dennis Francis because Dennis Francis didn't get the job till the 5th of September of 2023. It would have been one Kasaro Koyosi Saba Koyosi. I think I said that right. It's Hungarian, so who knows. But yeah, it wouldn't be Dennis Francis, not till a few months. Anyway. Mr. President of the General Assembly, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, not long ago the United States fell apart and is now finding itself. There is a small hope of uniting once more. At the same time, the government in Denver and Washington, D.C. continue to kill and discriminate without caring of civilians of our nation. The rest of the US is left to its fate. And today I speak to you as the sole unifier of the New England region. I have not only saved the region from anarchy, but also an unjustified invasion, says Rousseau, Karazun on Rousseau's face. I hold a promise and a dream to return the US to normalcy, and to rid of its outdated systems that led to its fate. I am promised a future where the US will not be corrupted from the outside or within. I will provide a future that can give the citizens of America what they want. Rousseau then looked down at his cafeteria speech. I am not a radical of the debate, no matter how many times people call me that. I take the best steps necessary if that means the people will call me a dictator, a despot, a radical, or anything else. However, before I go, I must ask you a question, Rousseau said, looking side to side. Does it matter if it saves the lives of citizens? So true. He then went on with his speech like nothing ever happened. Very good speech, or at least the question. Last bit, starting from line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to 25. That's a really good part. Very good. Alright. I guess unify nationalist militaries. Despite our recent efforts to work closely with the National Socialist Movement, or NSM, we are still divided. If they're allowed to continue, then our inevitable war with the Union, plagued with issues, and will inevitably lead our destruction. To prevent this, we will begin unifying our armies under a single joint command structure. This will allow us to share intelligence and cooperate attacks with our allies in Michigan. Additionally, this permits us to coordinate offensives once we begin our assault on Biden, allowing us to prevent our offenses from stalling. Probably should have got that. We've managed to get Johnstown. It seems we're about to lose Johnstown. We have lost Johnstown. And we're currently being pushed back near Harrisburg. Hey, Allies are forced to make a breakthrough going around Cleveland instead of really through it, but still, we can take Cleveland, you know. Also, Stephen Ferrer has got to ill. Still can't get any. I don't. We're losing that part south of Williamsport. Attack on the behinds of those. The Kingston Conference begins. With the escalating tensions across the border of with Canada, we have decided on a conference designed to take place in the town of Kingston, Ontario, which here. Situated along the border with New York, that is correct. This decision was made due to its proximity to both Canadian heartland. Personally, I believe the Canadian heartland is more up here, but to each their own. And upstate New York, and came after a round of delegations up to Toronto. We will be meeting on a number of issues, most prominently the refugee crisis, but also the flight of treacherous Liberal politicians who governed and exploited New England in its exchange, likely rules of engagement of American front lines, extending their greedy hands in the businesses of America. While this is unsavory for us as Canadians do not and should not run American politics, it is necessary as a two-front war with our northern neighbor is very likely to end in disaster. If this meeting goes wrong, however, we have called up volunteers and guards on the northern border, and we have decided to close the border for the time being, which will be a massive point of contention at Kingston. Our most trusted diplomats will be in attendance, and we will entrust them with the future of the Patriotic Front. Decision to hold a conference was also influenced by the Canadian raising concern of humanitarian issues in New England, such as the Red Cross being refused access, as we can take care of our people and rules of engagement, which is practically irrelevant to the fight against tyranny. We will attempt to get across these points, and the Canadians show us little involvement in the decision making of Americans, but remember to not push our luck, as Canadians are poised to strike at any moment if should they be thrown a necessary evil. Yeah, that assess these guys. Raise of legitimacy again. The Texan National Movement is absolutely destroying the Texan Red Guard. I think I know which side to get to, because let's be honest, both sides are in an eternal war. Probably need to have them both out. This is going to be a pain. Tag. Sorry for the first hack of the day, but you know, you need to. I don't want these two to be in a forever war. You understand? BLA. Delete you. Delete. Can't delete you. But hey, that's probably dead. Tag of flow, would it be? No, it would not. See the bug. Tag flag. I put flag in. Can't delete you. Can delete you too though. And delete you. And stop you from doing that. Tag PTF. That's SF. T debug. Get rid of you. We have taken that region. we have taken a lot of the region of Erie. Canadians demand a rules of engagement. Our delegation arrived in Kingston. Then the first round of negotiations had begun, and over one of the most prevalent issues that Canada has brought to our attention, rules of engagement. While this was expected, the length of which Canada found to argue for our rules of engagement, or ROE, is outdated and has gone against the Geneva Protocol. While we have should get the point across that rules of engagement are relevant in the grand scheme of our struggle, we should not press them against the issue too hard, or else Canadians will get the wrong impression of our movement if it even matters to them anyway. The Canadians have started by offering a complete list of suggestive rules of engagements, and it's clear that they are trying to strong arm us. We've called their bluff, listing out counter offers that have not been received well by the Canadians. Their rules include stipulations preventing the seizure of property and detaining civilians, and a minimum force necessary in combat situation. We find these preposterous. I mean, if you're trying to reunite a country in a deadline, it is pretty probable and is somewhat preposterous. And these rules are severely limit our combat ability, as well as give Canadians position to continue hammering down on the round table. There are also arguments in favour of accepting the deal, saying that if we are to maintain a relationship, trust, dignity, we appease the Canadians and codify rules of engagement with our army, allowing us to champion honour and gain the support of American people. As the time comes to make a decision, we shall. Yeah, I'll switch terms. Probably a bad thing, but let the Canadians have what they wish. The border of Philadelphia is about to form. Canada returns Liberal politicians. Relay with mastermind co-beneficial compromise, bring back the Liberal politicians and exchange the Canada, pulling them from New England. With their homeland, we guarantee communications and provide the Canadians a small military competition. Real logistical efforts required to start their operation. Welcome home. Send some troops here. Send soldiers there. Send a soldier there. U4 going to there. Canadians demand post-war elections as the second to last round of negotiations. The Canadians have brought up the very controversial topic: post-war elections. This has sparked outrage as a clear attempt by Canadians to strangle our politics and make us the puppet. Elections are one of the main reasons why America has been consumed by liberal degeneracy and weakened both externally and internally. If we do not want to repeat this, then we must either reject the offer or propose some sort of compromise. President Rousseau is firmly against compromise in this regard due to the influence of the National Republicans. He is unable to fully rule it out. It is up to the delegation to personal agenda. The agenda decided a compromise consisting of the powers that have been transferred to Congress to appease the Canadians has been drafted by the National Republicans and is now making a decision, our diplomat will decide to compromise. Not doing it full election, but we will compromise upon it. Our allies are getting pushed back as they out of Ohio again. Guys really need to get better at that. France is going war with Nigerian Islamists. Canada demands Red Cross access. We have the issue of the rules of engagement resolved. We can now turn to the second matter of the Congress. We also have 8 minutes left. The Congress, the Red Cross. Since our takeover of Connecticut, we have expelled the Red Cross and all similar organizations as we suspect them that it is a global front. We have concluded that the American crew can take care of themselves and we do not need the rest of the globe to intervene in our humanitarian affairs. Simple as that. This has brought great concern to our northern neighbour, who wish to see the Red Cross return to New England. While we wish to maintain our humanitarian relief services, it is very important to point the Canadians that they will likely try to force our hand internally. We are divided because some believe that we should dig our teeth to the sand and refuse the globalists infiltrate our great nation. Others believe that this is not an issue worth risking war over and can help aiding people left in misery by a conflict in Kingston. Our diplomats decide accept their demand. Pushing them back from Philadelphia. The refugee problem. With everything out of the way, now comes the most important issue of our conference. Canadians have been beating around the bush about for so long. The refugee crisis. Every day, 10,000 Americans cross into Canada through New England illegally. So Canada is having an American problem. Mostly along rat lines built by humanitarian organizations. This has caused several brain drain, decrease in factory productivity, as well as significant portions of the manpower pool gone, hurting our movement badly. This has stopped the likewise, it is surely causing headaches up north with the influx of so many refugees. Despite this, Canada has refused to return these refugees back to their homeland. It has called out our border policy. This is outrageous and we need to draw a line in the sand saying no more. With propagation, it is either they return the refugees or we lead Congress dissatisfied. Outraged, our diplomats reached a conclusion and they will try and reach a compromise. Let's try and talk this out, lads. The Kingston Conference successful. Today we announced the Kingston Conference was a diplomatic success. We have resolved a number of, if not every issue that that we have brought up with the Canadians, securing our northern frontier from any Canadian military intervention. Not only have we secured for steady returns of American refugees, but we also formed a relationship, built trust with the Canadians despite our grievances with their government. This is sure to enable a lasting peace in the region. Our diplomats have returned home as heroes. Let's go, lads. And I think I can now actually get an Air Force. Well, those are air, but here it is. Okay, I can't do you. Wait, can I do you? No, I cannot do you. How do you Harvin? Okay, Oh, nope. Okay, 2 helicopters. Go at it, lads. Probably gonna do jack all, but yeah, again, at least something in the air is better than nothing. Also, we have 4 minutes left. The League of Self is finally defeating the BLA, Black Liberation Army. We have pushed back, or we're pushing back, Federalist troops from the Philadelphia region. We are losing some ground in northern Pennsylvania, but we have pushed back people trying to take over Philadelphia, so we take some, we lose some. What to get next? What to get next? What to get next? Combat. Yeah, get combat internal enemies. Despite our victories, our enemies remain ever living. We're not only threatened by external enemies, but we are also threatened by traitors on the inside. Radicals within our party have silenced and only been plotting against Rousseau ever since the beginning of our revolution. These groups pose an existential threat to the stability of our organization and must be dealt with immediately. To purge these radicals will also gain approval of the people. What would be more happy to see these radicals be taken care of? Ryan Sanchez has been wounded. Damn you, Ryan Sanchez. Sudan's in a civil war. Alexa, stop it. Stop. Alright, so current situation. We're pushing back Federalists. I'm pretty sure if nothing changes next video, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna do some tag delete because this is going literally nowhere. I push a bit, they push me back. So far and so forth. So yeah. Also, I do not have enough army to, have an air force. So also, yeah. So if next video nothing happens, I'm going to tag delete most of the army here. What are you going to do? Well, it must have failed Operation Manstein because they don't have Upper Peninsula. But anyway, our friends are going the greatest story. You say never or ever. Never told. Anyway. So yeah, if nothing changes or maybe we're going badly next time, I'm just going to tag delete our armies. Also, somehow I gotta check tag of flag just before we end. How are you still standing? Okay, now you will be. Going through hell. Tag PTF. So yeah, this has been this video. Hope to see you next time. Hope to see you again. This has been Multiple Limited signing out. Goodbye, good day, and goodbye. One thing.